There it is. Check, check, check. Check 1 2, check 1 2. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the AfroMattt Show. This is episode number 151 of these, whatever these are. This is, I guess, season 3, the third year. About 50 episodes every year. Third year about doing this. It is, I mean, it's something. I don't even know if it's an accomplishment or not. It's kind of sad. Kind of sad. But we are drinking Schweppes ginger ale. And let's just get right into it. Major announcement. Major announcement, guys. Season 2 of Dating on the Spectrum America is out on Netflix right now. This is one of the only times I will tell you to pause this podcast. But if you have not seen that show, pause this podcast. Or better yet, pull this podcast up on the side and have it running on the bottom like a TikTok. Right? You can just mute me. But it's like there's movement and it's like more stimulation. And then underneath that, have a car crashing down in GTA 5. And then below that, have episodes of Family Guy playing. If you guys haven't realized, I've been trying to get a little bit better at posting clips of the podcast. I post about a 2-minute clip. I go in and chop it up. It takes me about 30 minutes to make a 2-minute clip, and then I just put some brain dead. The sad thing is that it works. It really does work. Normally my videos would probably get like 100 views, and then they get like 900 or like 1,000 views. With all it took is a crashing car down GTA, a pipe in GTA 6. It's what it is. But God, I love that show. Dating on the Spectrum is, I mean, it might be the best show ever created on all television. It's just so pure, and I'm not even laughing because they're on the spectrum. Or what is it called? Love on the Spectrum or Dating on the Spectrum? There's another one called Downs with Love, and it's just people with Down syndrome. That one's a little bit more goofy because they really do it bad because they play music in the background and it's like dong 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 dong. That one's really bad. That one's more kind of like you can laugh at it. I mean, you can laugh at it. I laugh at it, but this one's more of like a heart. It's real. It's true. Like these people, and of course, people with Down syndrome are the purest souls on the planet. They're untainted, right? When you come out of the womb, you're a pure, innocent soul. You've been untainted by your sights, the sounds, a truly innocent being. And there's something really magical about watching truly untaintainted, unfiltered. I mean, some of these people get really crazy with the things that they say. They'll walk straight at this guy. I don't want to spoil it, but dude, this guy, he's on a blind dating. He's on blind dating, going on blind dates with other people with autism, and he's asking them questions. He's like, "So, what do you do for hobbies?" And she's like, I like to read or whatever." And he's like, "Okay, that's cool." And then he kind of sits there in the awkwardness, and then he's like, what's your opinion on nature?" And she's like, "That's an interesting question. I haven't ever thought about that. I guess I'm more of a city girl." And then in front of her, he crosses her name off of his list. He puts a big X in the no column, and then he writes down, "not big into nature." It is the craziest shit. It's so funny. I mean, it's like, and then the cameraman comes up to him. The cameraman's like, hey man, I don't think that you should be putting like an X on them while they're sitting there. Wait till they leave. And he's like, shit, I should have known that. I'm like, damn, it's real. That's what I love about that show. If you haven't, go watch that one. Go watch both American ones. I haven't even seen all the episodes. I'm just to the part where they go to Africa. This girl, the one person who found a relationship, she found a guy, and she's really into the Lion King. Like that's her thing. Like lions and the Lion King. She loves them. So this guy also has autism. Paid for them to go to, I don't, well, he definitely did not. It wasn't him who paid for it. It was his family. But they take a safari in Africa. In Africa on a safari, looking at giraffes and stuff, and it's like making this girl's mind just it's so pure. I love that show. I love that show. And it's like, because they just tell it how it is. There's no walls. Like there's an invisible wall that we all build around ourselves, right? And it's like we want to portray ourselves. We have an image of how we think we are, and we try to project that when we talk. But people with on the spectrum, they have no, they have nothing. They have none of that. They say what's on their mind when it's on their mind, even if it's like kind of fucked up. But it's genuinely one of the best shows on television. Have to go watch it. And just sometimes you'll catch them, and this is interesting. Sometimes you'll catch them doing something that you're doing. Like this guy, he tells the cameraman, he's like, "Cameraman, yeah, I got something badass to show you." And he goes into his room and he pulls off, like, he has a whole wall full of swords. And I'm like, damn, that's actually cool. Like I want a wall of swords. Like, and then you start asking, you're like, am I autistic? Well, I mean, definitely, probably autistic. I mean, I have a bookshelf, and on top of it is probably a million Lego pieces. And a million Lego pieces here, meticulously sorted by type and utility. There's a little bit of spectrum. I have 4 cats. I mean, Jesus. But I mean, the show is just it's perfect. It's perfect television, and they don't really even intervene. They just ask them questions. They ask this one guy questions, and he's like, he pauses the interview, and he's like, "Are my eyebrows right?" And the cameraman's like, "What? Excuse me, what? I just wanted to know if I'm doing my eyebrows right." The cameraman's like, "I do whatever you want with your eyebrows, man." He's like, "It's all right. I just want to make sure my eyebrows were okay." Like, man, well, there was another one. It's like, oh man, and sometimes I feel so bad. There's this one girl, and she got really famous off of this show. She is like an animator or something. She does like something with anime or something. And her, the one thing she's looking in her like in her relationship is a guy who's into animation. So like she'll start the conversation. They have drinks. They're drinking, and she's like, "So what do you do?" And he's like, "I actually sell cards, like Pokemon cards, Magic cards, whatever, for a trading card company." And she's like, "Okay, that's cool. Now, do you think that you would be willing to get a job in animation?" He's like, I mean, I haven't ever thought about it." But she's like, "Okay, well, we'll see." And then he's at the end of the date. He's like, "You know what? I really enjoyed this. I really liked you. I think you're beautiful. You're a good soul. I can really see us going on another date." And she's like, "Yes, maybe." I felt for the dude so hard, and he's like, "Damn, man, that sucks." Um, oh man, and then there's this one guy. God, guys, this show is so good. This show is so good. He goes out onto there's this guy, the same guy who's on the round robin dating, like the blind dates, and he sees this girl that he knows, and it's someone that he used to work with, and she's got a new job. It's probably been a year or so, and he has an existential crisis whether to put an X or a no on her, and he asks to step out of the place real quick so he can think, and he's having this inner monologue out loud with himself, and he tells himself, he's so poetic when he speaks. He said, heart, be still. He said, be still, heart. Stop yearning. And man, dude, when he said that, I said, holy shit, this guy's got it. He's my new favorite character. and then he's like, no. He's telling himself, no. Stop yearning. Heart, be still. Be still, heart. Stop yearning. I'm like, damn, dude. But I mean, I really can't even say enough about that or about that show. Just go watch it. Go start with season 1, because some of the characters, I call them characters. They are real people. But they transfer over into season 2. A couple of them. So I mean, it's really good. There's this guy James, and he has like he dyes his hair blonde, and he went to a Ren fair in like 90-degree weather in like a full black trench coat, and the dude was like, "It's really hot here." Are you getting hot? She's like, "Well, no, I'm fine." He's like, "It's getting pretty hot." He's like having a full on heat stroke. Oh man, it's so good. It really is so good, and they all have swords. They love swords. But it's kind of beautiful because I'm like, these people, they and one of the people says something that's actually pretty profound. He said, he's talking to each other, and he's like, "How old are you?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm 28." And he's like, "Oh, I'm 37, but everyone says I look 20." And he's like, maybe we look so young because we still, or man, I forgot what he said. Maybe we look so young because we still love the things we did when we were a child. I'm like, damn, maybe that's true. Because maybe it's like when you let go a part of your childhood, that door is like closed, right? And then you start aging, right? You kill your inner child, and that's like when you see these people at work or wherever, and you've seen them and they look older the next time you see them. It's like their inner child has died since then, and they've lost something has killed their inner child. And you know, it's interesting because all these people, they are children. They have the mentality of a child, and it keeps them youthful. And I like that. I like that mentality. I like to keep my mind youthful. But yeah, it's just a golden show. There's just nothing even comparable to it, because it's like there's never been this sort of study of, and they all want, it's like such a human condition. And I know I'm like hyper conceptualizing the show, but it's not. I'm not, because that's what the show is. It's like it's a very human trait to want someone, right? Because all these people, they want someone, and they can't really even describe why. And I feel like not a lot of people even can describe why. Like the interviewer asks a question. He says, why is it important for you to find love or a relationship? And the guy asks, what's a relationship again? He's like, that's when you're dating someone and you make it official. And he's like, I just don't want to be alone. And I'm like, damn, man. Like, when you're watching this show, it's profound. It is profound. Look, it seems stupid. Yeah, a love show. It's like a dating show with people, but it's way more. Just go, if you have Netflix, borrow someone's Netflix and go watch this show. I could talk about it all day. I've talked about it for 14 minutes. What? Okay, we got to continue on here. The Myth of Sisyphus. This is the book I just finished. that I was talking about last time, this book was actually kind of a tough read. When I picked it up, I'm like, oh, cool, it's going to be a story about Sisyphus. But no, this is Albert Camus, or Albert Camus. Albert Camus is what I call him. He wrote a book that I read last year. The book was The Stranger, which was an interesting short story. This one was a series of essays, so definitely harder to read. I mean, like, look at this page. It is like just a block, so there's no dialogue. It's just blocks of text, but it's he's trying to figure out this idea of what he calls the absurd, and I think he invented absurdism, and he explains that. Sorry, there's a cat on me. If you're an audio listener. There, he explains this idea of the absurd, and he says that, and I think that the reason he started doing this was he's trying to contemplate why he shouldn't kill himself. Like, that's kind of what this read to me as, is like someone so logically, like logical as him, he's trying to figure out why scientifically and logically, using reason, suicide doesn't make sense. Because in a world without a God, and he says that, I think that you have to kind of assume at a certain level that there is no God, right? And he says without a God, this is all assuming that there is no God. And he says that you can't know that there is a God, so you can't assume you know what happens next. No one can. Really, that's kind of the whole. It's the whole reason everyone's fighting. That's why they're bombing each other in Israel and Palestine. That's why the Jews are digging tunnels, because no one knows what happens after death. That's the whole reason. So he says you have to kind of exclude that, and you have to say, even so, no one knows what happens after you die. So you have to wonder why not kill yourself, right? It sounds bad when you say it like that, but he says, like, if there really is no meaning, why does killing yourself make no sense? So he comes to this, like, idea that it's the absurd, and it's the absurd condition that we are here with no purpose, right? You're just a human, and he does that kind of, intellectual, the thing that every 8-year-old has thought about. They're like, yeah, we're just on a spinning ball, man. We're just on a spinning ball. But he does it a lot more interesting. He says, like, yeah, you'll, even if you make a great work of art, your name will be remembered for 100 years, but what about 3,000 years, right? It's like, there's no way we're chasing in immortality, kind of. Let me see. Let me go to parts where I underlined. Try to explain it a little bit better. Here's a good part right here. Here is kind of the main. This is my favorite chapter. This is called The Myth of Sisyphus. This is what the whole chapter of the book, it's all right here. He says, if God exists, all depends on him, and we can do nothing against his will. If he does not exist, everything depends on us. For Kirillov, and as for Nietzsche, to kill God is to become God oneself. It is to realize on earth that eternal life of which the gospel speaks. So he's saying that people who are, religious and they have faith, and he talks about faith a lot in this book, they offload and they delegate that responsibility, because really it's living and doing the right thing and being a nice person is, and trying to even figure out what life is a huge undertaking. So people offset that onto a religious being, whatever it is, God. It's the whole reason why people are bombing each other in Jerusalem and whatever, Palestine, all that shit's popping off. It's because of these, religion. Everyone wants to be right. But he's saying, when you kill God and you don't believe in it, then you take that burden onto yourself. And one of two things can happen. That burden can be so painful to bear that you have to, unalive yourself. Or you can see this as what he says in the next line. He says, why kill oneself and leave this world after having won this freedom? So you worked so hard to defeat this to win your freedom. When you become God, then you've won your freedom, and now you can do anything, and now you live in that eternal, and he calls it like the eternal afterlife in which the gospel speaks, which is interesting because it's like, well, if he pretty much says that life without a God, without a faith, becomes even more meaningful because there is no afterlife, right? Because there's nothing that happens after this, you have to make the most of it. If there's nothing after it, and you've already come to terms with that, then everything you do is a precious commodity, because you're not going to be dancing around in on the clouds with your family. You're not going to be poked and boiled in hell. If none of that is going to happen to you, then this is it. Then this is it, and you have to cope with that. And that's the absurd that he's talking about. He really talks about a lot of his ideas, like the absurd. My favorite part was about Sisyphus, which is the whole book. The whole book is about Sisyphus, the myth of Sisyphus. It's the last chapter, probably the best chapter. I sped through that chapter because it was so damn good. It's like a little essay. It's probably 30 pages. You can probably find it online. But he talks about Sisyphus, and Sisyphus is a Greek story. He's Sisyphus, not syphilis. He was he was punished. So here's the story as I know it. Sisyphus was a big dude on Earth. He was like a king. He was a really badass king. He did really good shit. And then the Water King's like the River King's mistress got robbed by Zeus, and Zeus had his way with her. And the River King came to Sisyphus, and he's like, yo, did you see where Zeus took my babe? And Sisyphus is like, yo, man, I saw him go that way. It was not good. No bueno. And the River King, he's like, yo, that's sick. Thank you. I'm going to go fuck up Zeus real quick, and I'm going to put a spring in your place. Zeus got fucked up, I guess. Got the river god got his babe back. Zeus was kind of pissed because he's out of babe, and he comes to Sisyphus, and he's super pissed, and he says, Sisyphus, I banish you to Hades, the underworld, where Sisyphus was condemned to roll a boulder up a hill for eternity, and every time he almost gets it up to the hill, it rolls back down. And normally when you think about this, you're like, damn, that sucks. But then you have a moment where you pause and you're like, oh shit, that's me. That's me. You wake up every morning and you do the exact same thing. You put chalk on your hands. You put your hands on the boulder. He puts it really nice. He's like, you put your cheek to the clay, and you dig your heels in, and you just push that boulder. And every step is a burden, and you get to the top, and then you go to sleep, and you wake up the next day. But he says, in his theory, is that the beauty is in the moment after the ball rolls down the hill, and Sisyphus is standing there at the top, having almost completed his challenge. And he gets this moment of contemplation when he sees it roll down the hill. And he can either do two of one things. He can either be super pissed or he can accept and be happy. And he has this theory of one must imagine Sisyphus happy, and that's where the meme comes from of one must imagine Sisyphus happy. Is it comes from this story of it comes from this book, one must imagine Sisyphus happy. And I mean, it's super. I mean, that pretty much sums it up. That it's like the ending line. He says, "One must imagine Sisyphus happy," and it's like, you really have to. If we are Sisyphus, you have to imagine him happy. And if you don't imagine him happy, then you're not happy. But if you imagine Sisyphus happy with his task and maybe pushing it a millimeter more, or maybe he does worse one day and then better the next. You have to imagine him happy in order to survive, because that's humanity. It's a super good book, and I mean, obviously, when reading this book, it was a little bit beyond some parts were a little bit beyond my comprehension. I don't read much philosophy, but some parts I really, really spoke with me. So it's a good read if you're looking for something. I was gonna say light, but this took me like 2 weeks to read. So yeah, a little bit tough on the reading comprehension part. Let's see. That pause that Sisyphus interests me. So he's talking about the pause. At each of those moments when he leaves the heights and gradually sinks towards the lair of the gods, he is superior to his fate. He is stronger than his rock. The workman of today works every day in his life at the same tasks, and his fate is no less absurd. But it is tragic only at the rare moment when he becomes conscious. Sisyphus, proletarian of the gods, powerless and rebellious, knows the whole extent of his wretched condition. It is what he thinks of during his descent. So, that's he's talking about that pause. Yeah, I mean, it's really something that I probably have to read for yourself, because I can only, project so much into it. And I mean, not really project too much into it, but like, it's like, it has to be kind of I feel like a personal journey is reading this book, especially if you, have ever had thoughts not about suicide, but about like a higher power, or like faith-based questions, stuff like that. Pretty good book to read, and just general thinking book. Let's get into the news. Holy shit, my throat is hurting. Let's get into the news. Jesus. Which one of these is the news? There we go. Oh, sorry for the yawn, guys. It is like 12 a.m. right now. And tomorrow it is supposed to be an ice rink outside, so I'm stuck inside. So I'm going to be doing some editing while I'm out at work. Let's see. Did I get this? Oh, I didn't. I didn't even get this. Okay, so I wanted to talk about a news article, but I could not find it anywhere. So apparently the lady who broke the Pizzagate scandal died like a week ago or something. I saw a news article, and I was trying so hard to find it. I only found the eulogy, and no articles talking about it. And usually I can find this type of stuff, but this is the only thing. Pizzagate journalist responsible for exposing giant pedophile network found dead. Published on December 29th, 2023. So this happened maybe about a month, not even a month ago, 3 weeks ago. Found dead. So yeah, rest in peace her. I'm sure it was from non-suspicious circumstances. Pizzagate, if you'll remember, that's when they believed that they were trafficking children underneath a pizza place. I'm not too sure even the theory, and I know a lot of theories, but I don't really even know that theory. It's a little bit beyond me. All right, let's continue on with the news. Judge halts home upgrades in Beverly Hills over city lack of affordable housing. Let's see what's going on here.
New at 5, Beverly Hills' apparent failure to approve a sufficient blueprint for affordable housing is causing a pause on most construction permits in the city as a penalty.
Eyewitness News reporter Rob Hayes joining us live in Beverly Hills with more on how a Superior Court's ruling is taking effect. Rob.
Yeah, for more than 50 years, California has required cities to have a compliant, affordable housing plan. A recent lawsuit, though, argued that Beverly Hills was shirking that law, and a judge agreed.
So I don't really even understand how you can have affordable housing in Beverly Hills. Like, what did they want to do? Like, where are you even gonna put affordable housing? Everything in Beverly Hills, are you gonna rent control it? Because I guarantee you there's not a single person you would get to invest in that unless they get some major tax cuts. I mean, yeah, this is just an interesting news article. I'm not gonna really go that deep into it, but you can't even so what they're doing is they're halting all permits. So you can't do any upgrades to your home. You can't put in a kitchen sink. You can't fix your island. You can't, build a I don't know, like a pavilion. You can't build a gazebo in your backyard. I don't know what these freaks are doing, right? You can't re-shingle your roof with solar panels. I don't know what this is Beverly Hills. I'm just imagining. Imagine you can't install a waterfall coming off of your diving board, right? You can't do this stuff until they install poor housing. This is the part where I'm kind of poor people don't even want to live, I don't even think, in Beverly Hills. But I'm not really even going to go too far deep into it. I don't care. I just saw this headline, it popped up, and I mean, I had to share. Our goal has always been to continue to be a certified housing element as required by state law. The city has provided comprehensive information to California Housing and Community Development Department demonstrating our commitment to diverse housing options in Beverly Hills. Yeah, I'm sure they're committed to diverse housing options in Beverly Hills, California. Yeah, that seems like something they're top priority, not installing yet another Trader Joe's next to a Whole Foods. Actually, I feel like they probably even have more expensive restaurant or places to shop I don't even know about. I guess this is another good point. Where would you even if I can't even imagine I'm probably affordable housing. If I lived in Beverly Hills, I don't even know where I would be able to shop. They don't have Walmart. They don't have CVS, probably. They have well, maybe they do have CVS, but CVS isn't even really that cheap. It's like $4 for a drink. Here's more news. Homeless man arrested after allegedly burning U.S. flag to cook his dinner. This one's good. A homeless man in Vietnam was arrested after he allegedly posted a video to Facebook of him burning the country's flag to cook his dinner. His name is Pham Kong Hung Nan, age 43, was detained by the Ba Ria City Police Investigation Agency on charges of insulting the national flag. Imagine, God, this is one of the stupidest ones. Like the people that are if that flag touches the ground, I'm gonna freaking kill you. We're gonna have to fold it into a triangle and hoist it into the sea. fling it overboard. We have to bury it. Don't they bury flags if they touch the ground? That level of, hey guys, I love being American. I feel lucky to be here as much as the next guy. But if an American flag touches the ground, I'm gonna just be like, yeah, man, I'm fine. I'm fine if you're fine. I think this has literally happened one time when in third grade or something, we were doing the Pledge of Allegiance, and I think someone had to hold the flag for some reason. I think they literally their arm got tired and it slowly went and they touched the ground. And someone, maybe some Boy Scout kid, was and I'm like, dude, chill with that shit. In 4th, 5th grade. All right, let's continue. Down syndrome. Oh, okay. Well, this is a little bit after talking about love on the spectrum and dating on the spectrum, this one is a little bit kind of on the nose. Mar Galasiran makes history as Spain's first parliamentarian with Down's syndrome. Now, I guess her Downs might be a little bit more mild because it is a spectrum. So her Downs might be a little bit more mild. And it looks a little bit more mild. God, in dating on the spectrum, someone's hand got crushed by the Down strength. He went to go shake someone's hand and she crushed it. And he's like, damn, that's a good ass grip. He's like, you have a very nice grip. It's so funny. I'm like, dude, you got hit by that retard strength. They're strong. They are strong, is what I'm saying. For decades, she battled to ensure that people with intellectual disabilities were part of the conversation. The extent progress which she made, however, was laid bare recently when Marguerite. So, I guess the qualifications to be a parliamentarian in Spain are, pretty chill. I'll tell you what, though. We're not far off, is what I'll say. We might get downsies in there soon. I'm not even gonna talk. I don't even really like the news today. I got really interested in the book and interested in the show, so I don't really even have to do much news. Let's just continue here. One of these will be interesting to me, and I'll be able to talk about it. The Down syndrome one is mostly just the headline is funny. Spain's got their first. Okay, Spain, go Spain. Good luck. Also, what does a person with Down syndrome from Spain sound like? Because that is such a unique accent, like Down's accent and also Spanish accent, where they have they kind of sound gay. I want to see. Okay, should I look up her talking? I think that's just yeah, you look it up for fun at home. That's a fun project I will be looking it up. I actually did get it. Here it is. This is breaking. Pizzagate investigator Janet Ossenbard found dead months after denying suicide. Okay. Months after denying suicide. That's like when Kanye West came online and he's like, guys, I am not planning on killing myself. And then the Kanye West clone popped up on Instagram. Okay. Yeah, her name is Janet Ossenbard. Ossenbard, found dead. A shocking development has emerged in the high-profile case of Pizzagate investigator Janet Ossenbard. The renowned investigator, known for the relentless efforts for exposing the elite pedophile networks, was found dead just months after making a public statement denying any intention of killing her. You know, I think I should start making more public statements saying I'm not going to kill myself. This is a public statement saying I'm not going to kill myself if I ever end up dead. Janet Ossenbar gained widespread recognition as a prominent figure in the Pizzagate conspiracy theory, which alleges that high-ranking individuals in various fields of power are involved in a global child sex trafficking ring. Huh. No. There's no way that's happening. I love the guy who's still on the fence about this. Like, allegedly. Guys, you really believe all that malarkey? You're a real conspiracy theorist, aren't you, Matt? The crazy thing is that there are people that are like that. They're like, wow, I bet you thought COVID was a lab leak too. like they're just bopping around on default mode, like just on spawn mode, like no thoughts, just no thoughts going through their head, no questions being asked, no real thought processes. I know people like this. Everyone has run into these people. You bring it up in conversation. You're like, they're like, who are? It's like they'll bring up like something political, and maybe I'll say, well, at least he wasn't on Jeffrey Epstein's island, and they'll be like, oh, you really believe all that? Like, not really that, not to that extent, but it's like, it's close. Like, some people are close to that level, and I mean, hey, more power to them. Osenbar dedicated years of her life to meticulously researching and exposing these alleged networks, often sharing her findings through videos and online platforms. Her works garnered a significant following and ignited passionate discussions about her dark underbelly of our society. Well, she definitely did not kill herself. A lot of people that end up dead, I mean, oopsie. Oh, you fell down the stairs? Backwards? Damn. Or, oh, you got shot you killed yourself in the head 4 times? Oopsie. Yep. Well, I don't know who's involved in that. Don't know who's got their hands in that one. I don't know if that's the Clintons or who. What is this? Another Fed-L. The Fed posts largest ever annual operating loss. No way. Oh my God, dude. This headline is actually crazy. The largest ever annual operating loss. So if you know, holy shit. The Federal Reserve ran an operating loss of $114.3 billion last year. Its largest ever, a consequence of its campaign to aggressively support the economy in 2020 and 2021, then jacking up interest rates to combat the high inflation. You know, like this is my philosophy around the economy is it's so reactionary that it can never, you know, do what it wants to do, because it's always trying to it's always playing off the back foot. It's like, oh shit, now wages are low and now unemployment is high, so now we have to react to that, but we're also reacting to all the money that we pumped out during COVID. So they're always playing catch up, so they'll never have a successful. They have to just, and this is probably like part of the big reset, they just have to like wipe it all clean. Maybe this is what BRICS is doing. BRICS is the what is it? Brazil, Russia, India, China society. It's like it's BRICS, BRICS. But they're like a group that they want to make like a global. Just look it up. They want to make a global currency with just them. Oh, it's South Africa. South Africa is the S. God knows they're in on it too. But they want to exclude America. apparently the Fed has like failed seven audits in a row. Let's look this up. Maybe it's like the CIA or something. Here it is. It's the Pentagon. The Pentagon fails 6th straight audit of trillions. The Pentagon has once again failed to pass its annual audit. This was November of last year. 6th consecutive year of a failed audit. The repeated lack of clean audit results highlights the complexity and vast scope of the... This is kind of like encompassing $3 trillion of assets, $4 trillion in liability spread across 50 states and over 50 or 4,500 global sites. Auditing the department's $3.8 trillion in assets and $4.7 trillion in liabilities is a massive undertaking. I can imagine. I mean, yeah, like this is like kind of in the Kafka, Franz Kafka. He's the guy who did like the Metamorphosis and the Trial and stuff. Like, I haven't read much of him, but I know that he's like a lot of his things are like the machine is like he's trying to describe the machine of the world, and it's like you can't really, like, things are just in motion and you can't really even, like, imagine auditing, trying to even conceptualize an audit for the Pentagon. Like, I can't even conceptualize how to audit this is a collective $10 trillion. Like, how do you even begin to audit this? All right, start with the biggest chunks. Okay, well, start with and you're still left with $1 trillion. You know how big $1 trillion is? That's 1,000 billions. Do you know how big a billion is? That's like 1,000 millions. Now try imagining auditing these. You're trying to audit these. You're trying to look through every dollar to see where. I honestly can't even blame them for failing the audit. I just think that these systems are so huge and so complex that they've become things themselves, which are like just machines. Like, they're just going. You've pulled the ripcord. It started up and you cannot stop it. It's just going. If something breaks, you can maybe go in there while it's moving, replace this part, get this gear going, but there's no way you can understand the machine. You can't really take it apart and it has to keep running. You can't. It's insane. It's impossible. It is Kafka-esque. This is the definition of Kafka-esque, is trying to audit these companies. It's just another example of, like, wealth has gotten so, honestly, just retarded that like the size, the money, no one is used to auditing this much money. In 1950, it was like you could buy a house for $14. So it was like, yeah, I can audit my entire life savings by looking into a sock, right? You can just peek into a sock and you're like, that's my money. And now it's like a business has to audit itself, and it's like a 4.5 billion. It's like you're looking at Amazon. It's like $100 billion. Like, audit it. The wealth is like so huge that it's almost impossible, I think, to even conceptualize all the moving parts. And this is why once companies get good at this, and this is what I think AI is going to do. Once companies get good at managing, because these companies have bloated up. They've bloated to such huge size that once they get good at figuring out how to cohesively connect all their cogs, because right now it's like Disney, and then it's like Disney Pixar, and it's like probably something else that Disney owns, ABC, and they're like different machines going, right? But when these companies get so complex that they own, it's like one company that owns like everything, and then once they get all those cogs into that machine, and everything's turning in unison, and then the machine is like dangerously big, right? Right now it's like, you know, Amazon's not cross promoting a book, connecting it with the TV show that's going along with it, and doing, you know, press reviews with the author, or you know, like it's there's different departments and they're not talking to each other, right? But with AI, I think this is what's going to happen, is that it'll become a machine, right? It will become a machine, everything. I don't really even think that it's like they say like some companies are too big to fail. I'm like, I mean, they're too big to even kill, right? They're too big to you, like, even if you wanted to kill Amazon, where do you even start? Like, you take Jeff Bezos, throw him in jail, it's like, that's not even gonna stop it. He's not like some mega mind behind it. All right, let's get into TikTok time. I like this one.
I never graduated school, never made it past the 5th grade. I do mathematical equations and the quadruples of algebra without even doing it on paper. You ask me mathematical question, I bet you I can tell it to you right off the bat. Dimensions, diagrams, other, you know.
So I think this guy is like a homeless guy who's just kind of like, I mean, honestly, kind of an OG.
Other, you know, astrology, mathematical dimensions.
Dimensions.
What's 12 times 12?
12 times 12 is 91. 12 times 12, I'm sorry, 12 times 12, 909,000, 967, 909,968. It's 21,792.
It's closer.
That is closer.
91. But 12 times 12 is 24. Right?
Okay.
No, 12 times 12. 28. I speak 8 languages. I know algebra 1, 2, and 3.
I like that guy. I like that guy. When you just fake it till you make it, he's and that guy's world is honestly happy, because if you just keep on saying yes, it's like, yeah, man, dude, you're killing it. Dude, you're killing it right now. What's 12 times 12? 999,472. Damn, dude, you did that super quick. And he's just like in this world that he just built. I mean, you just have to build yourself a world and you're happy. Oh, this is the I talked about this earlier. The Young Thug trial. Apparently the Young Thug trial is still happening. This is where they said Young Thug stands for Young Truly Humble Under God. Truly Humble Under God. THUG, Thug. Young Thug. And they're playing his songs in court, and they're like, dude, what does this mean? And his lawyer, the OG, pulls up and he's like, yo, what does this mean? He's saying, I'm with my shooters. They're playing basketball. They're taking shots at the basketball. I got bodies on bodies on bodies. What does this mean? This means that he has lots of babes and he sleeps with a lot of women. And the lawyer is like, what are we doing right now? So they literally just playing one of his songs, and this will get my video copyright strike, but I don't care. So they're just playing one of his songs, and he's trying so hard not to react. He's trying so hard not to laugh. That's it. That's it. The lifestyle. There he is. The whole gang. This guy's got his glasses on. Lifestyle. Dude, the cop in the background's jamming.
One time to know, Mr. Kokomo. All right, okay, all right. All right, Mr. Kokomo.
There's the judge talking. The judge was jamming too, dude. I love that trial. Every now and then it will show up on my TikTok, and I'm like, damn, dude, this trial is maybe the best. Like, imagine like 20 years, we have like, you know, whatever, Gussie versus Ferguson or whatever, you know, Brown versus the Board of Education, and then you have the state of California versus Young Thug. Like, you're learning about these, and it has the Young Thug defense where you just say everything is an acronym for something better. Young Thug, it's truly humble under God. All right, we'll watch one more of these. This is my favorite, one of my favorite newest Joe Biden clips. He's giving a Medal of Honor to Elton John, and he says one of the most wild things I think I've ever heard anyone say.
By the way, it's all his fault that we're spending $6 billion in taxpayer money this month to help AIDS.
You should see Elton John's face. Elton John's face, he's like, what?
By the way, it's all his fault that we're spending $6 billion in taxpayer money this month to help AIDS.
So let's break that down. He said it's his fault, which means that he also he kind of doesn't even want to give money to AIDS. He says, this is who you can blame for us giving money, because I don't want to do it. Also, he's blaming Elton John for AIDS. This is our president, and maybe our president this time next year. By the way,
it's all his fault that we're spending $6 billion in taxpayer money this month to help AIDS.
He had to throw taxpayer dollar. He does not want to give money to AIDS, by the way. Joe Biden does not. That is not the voice. That is not the speech of someone who wanted to give money to AIDS. He probably hates gay people. I'll be on the record saying that he probably hates gay people. We'll watch one more here. Which one?
Like a good neighbor, State Farm got caught funneling money illegally into an Illinois Supreme Court justice's campaign fund through various charities so that he would overturn a verdict against them in Illinois for $1 billion for not filing claims for things that they should have filed claims for. And they got caught doing this and got hit with the RICO and got hit with $250 million fines. But they still made a profit of $750 million by not having to pay the initial verdict against them that was for $1.1 billion, and also they're still a company. How is this a thing?
Oh, cool. That's a cool jingle. I didn't know they changed their jingle. State Farm to their newest jingle. Okay, we'll watch one more. And this is my newest piece of lore from Elliot.
I was 18 years
from our favorite guy, Elliot.
I was 18 years old. I got a DUI. I'm out drinking and driving like an idiot. I had a lawyer, okay? You know what he told me? $10,000 is what I need by next Friday, and I'll keep you out of jail. And I'll keep your license. I don't have $10,000. I'm 18 years old. I had 1 week left to get my money, and I only had like $3,500 put up. That day, a monster was awoke because I envisioned myself going to jail, which that's not an option. I made $10,600 take home. At that point in time, I realized I could have whatever I wanted. When are you guys going to put your back against the wall? What's it going to take for you?
I love that. He's asking people, what is your equivalent to drunk driving? Guys, you got to put your back against the wall. Here's what you got to do. You have to, and he's, okay, so one of his famous thought experiments was, imagine your family is tied up and taken hostage. Do you think you can do you think you can come up with $10,000? I think you can. Awake that monster. Awake that monster in yourself. How about this? You mail yourself an incriminating photo of you exposed Oh, how about this? It's a saw trap. We're talking saw traps right now. It's a saw trap, but it's you naked, right? Inside of a robe. But the saw trap is the robe slowly opens up. And unless you sell $10,000, you will expose yourself. And at the end of the saw trap, it takes a picture and emails it to every single school principal in your district. Do you think that will wake up the beast? That will wake up the beast. The beast was awoken. Do you want to play a game? How about we play a game? just imagine that. Okay. Okay. We gotta end this. We gotta end the show there. Do you want to play a game? Just a guy. The guy who's just slowly revealing himself in a public space. No. I'll sell it. I'll buy it. Sell it. Sell. He's getting people on the phone. If you don't make a sale today, you will expose yourself to 15 children at the playground. Oh, that's funny. All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for listening. Let's play a game. Goodbye.